What I am understanding of is, I read this book called Late Bloomers, and it talks about how people worship like youth fame and youth prodigies, but what happens is they fizzle out. So I'm really aware of that. They fizzle out after a certain time. That's why I'm like not pressuring.
Yeah.
But people that are late, because I was reading for myself.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was late.
Yeah.
And, so I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware. That people like to see the kids go to. These are hot. So my wife and I, we started our day here at Whole Foods, and we're starting to get more time. My daughter's gymnastics is becoming more demanding, so she's spending more hours in the gym. But one of the things that, I walked away from our we were able to start to get into some really good conversations. One in particular is about the power shift that's happening. We're from an observation standpoint, it's obvious that things are changing rapidly, and the question is how do you position yourself for this change? On so many different levels. From a career standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint, a family standpoint. All these different things are at play, and in this time, it's the most important thing right now is family alignment, and really being on the same page, because the volatility of things, and being able to weather the storms, no matter what. And that was part of what I took away, and we were able to get into that and some other things as well. But it's always good to just keep that alignment going and staying on the same page, because it's so necessary. So I'll be here for a little bit. I'm doing some work right now. Really have my head down, really. We have a lot going on for next week, so getting ready for that. But with that said, just stay tuned. One thing I like doing, especially when things are in so much flux, I always like to go back and study history. So I'll go back 100, 200 years ago. So what I did after the conversation with my wife, I was thinking it sounds crazy, but we could be at the precipice of what could be considered World War III. And I'm not trying to get dystopian, but it's just bear with me. And one of the things that I did was I Googled what was the economy like in World War I. So that way I can kind of see it kind of gave me a general sense of what was it like leading up to that, and then during that time, World War I, and then after. And then I did the same thing for World War II. And I challenge you to go do that research. I'm not gonna explain it to you. I just want you to get the thought process. I did the same thing for when the pandemic happened. I went back to the Spanish flu, because this happened 100 years ago, and they were able to get rid of the Spanish flu in 2 years with no vaccines. And I saw how they did it. So it gave me an insight on how to position at that time, for the pandemic, my family. So I'm doing the same thing with using World War I and World War II, as we're at the precipice of something similar. I'm not saying that we're breaking out into war or anything like that, and that's not the point of this. The point of this is saying, how do you strategically leverage the chaos? There's an investor that says, never waste a good chaotic moment. It's always an opportunity. Unfortunately, a lot of crazy stuff happens, but that's just the nature of things. Things are they work in cycles. So what I want you to do is Google that for yourself. The economy in World War I and II, and then put it in the comments if you get a chance to do that. Put it in the comments and let me know what you find. Alright, I'm on the bus. My stop is coming up soon. But I just want to let you know, really take into consideration what I was sharing with you. It's really important, and it helps you exercise your long-term thinking. So with that said, if you made it this far in this video, I really appreciate that. You take a like. If you made it this far, you already know what to do.